All right, thanks for watching and tuning in. Welcome to another video on the rowing coaching, my channel here. Thank you to all the subscribers that subscribe and give me comments and feedback and like the videos and share my content. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and it would mean a lot to me if you would do that and like the video if it brings you some value. So today, what I want to talk about is feet out drill. I haven't put one of these videos out yet on the channel. There are others out there as well, but I wanted to give my own slant on the feet out drill and show you a little hack that I learned from Row 2K earlier this week that caught my eye. I thought it was pretty simple and pretty ingenious, so watch for the second half of the video for that. So feet out drill is there so that you learn a few things. First of all, you learn how to stay connected with the foot stretcher both on the drive and on the recovery. The other thing that it does is it teaches you to draw to the right length at the release, because sometimes if you draw too much and your weight goes behind you, your feet fall off. Okay, now the trick to the drill is you've got to maintain acceleration on the handle all the way through. If you lose connection with the handle and towards that end of that stroke, your feet are going to come off the footrest. So basically, I'm not strapping myself in, and I'm not using those straps to assist me in any way. And so to kind of go through this, we've got it's easy to do kind of legs, right, and keep your feet. But it's the more I add length to it, the harder it becomes to keep the feet in contact with the foot stretcher. Okay, so I'm all right there. As soon as I go back, then what happens is I lose connection with the machine. So how do we fix this? Well, the trick is that when you're bringing the handle through, it's the force on the handle here transmitted through the feet that keeps the feet in contact with the foot stretcher. Okay, so if I'm rowing that release, that last third of the stroke effectively, I'm going to keep my feet in contact with the machine. So let's have a go at that. So there I am. You'll notice I'm keeping the foot flat. I'm not lifting the toes. Sometimes, watch yourself. If you're lifting your toes, then that means that you're not really in fully good contact with the foot stretcher. Sometimes novices learn to push off the balls of the feet, then go on the heel and do that kind of thing, sort of a seesaw with the feet. And really want the feet flat. We want to be in connection with the boat all the time. And so being able to row that, you can row half slide and keep the handle moving. You want to accelerate that handle through, and so that you keep that acceleration going. And there we go. If I go too far back, then I lose connection. Right? I lost that connection. If I don't keep pressure on the handle, if I lose it, I lose connection. I just took the pressure off and I lost connection. So this idea of having a quick catch, being patient at that front end, and surging through the stroke is an effective way to apply your force. And this feet out kind of reinforces that idea of patience for the first inch, right? The wheels moving slower, so get the wheels starting to move. Just like you might push a heavy object, you're not going to slam into that object at 20 miles an hour and try and move it. You're going to walk up to that object and start building its momentum. And the same kind of thing goes for swinging somebody on a swing. At the top of the swing, you're going to take that swing and push that swing away, but as it builds and it builds up speed, then you add more and more and more acceleration and value to it. And that's the same thing you want to get. These machines kind of love that last third of that stroke to be rowed well. That's why this feet out drill is successful. So patience, and then surge, right? And using your body concurrently, your arms, your legs, and your back to kind of achieve that acceleration and row that last third of the stroke, that last, if you're familiar with force curves, rowing that last part of the curve effectively is how fast are you going to release that wheel at the end of the stroke, or how fast is that boat going to travel when you're done with the end of your stroke. And it becomes an issue of letting the flywheel spin at the end of the stroke and letting the boat run rather than trying to just hit the catches with the legs and explode off the front end. It's been shown to be much more effective to move a boat, and again, there are ways to explode off the catch and do well, but you generally have to be, kind of a genetic freak in order to do that. If you're like me, I'm 6 feet, I'm not particularly tall. I want to figure out how am I going to move the boat most effectively. So that's the feet out drill. I did promise a little hack to do. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take a piece of paper here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it underneath my foot. Okay, you can probably put a piece of paper under each foot, but I'm just going to do one. And you can probably see what's going on here. If I put my foot right on the edge, about halfway off, the paper's halfway off, put my foot on there, if I lose connection, then what's going to happen is that paper is going to gradually fall away, right? If I lose connection, there goes the paper, right? So if my feet are moving while I'm rowing feet out, that's what's going to happen. So what I'm aiming to do here, the article I saw on Row 2K was actually a dollar bill, but there may be some NCAA issues with that. So you don't want compliance beating down your door saying, if you can row this piece and keep the dollar under your foot the whole practice, you get to keep the dollar. There may be some compliance issues with that, but for everybody else, it could be a good way to motivate your athletes, or just a fun way to think about it. But a piece of paper is just fine as well. And so rowing this drill effectively enables me to keep that piece of paper under my foot and not lose it, and so that gives me that external cue that I'm actually doing something correctly on the machine. And so it's a pretty neat hack. Full credit goes to Row 2K for it, but I thought it was pretty neat. Apparently that hack has been around for a while, and it's the first time I saw something like that. So you learn something new every day. But that's feet out drill. I've explained why we use it, how to make it work. Again, the secret is to keep accelerating that handle, keep the value, keep the momentum moving, so that you can keep your feet in contact. So this is really about rowing the back half well, but also staying in contact on the way forward, so that you're always connected to the boat or the machine in a positive way. And so, losing that connection is kind of like rowing with a loose rigger, for example. You wouldn't want to do that. So thanks for watching my feet out drill among all the other feet out drills videos on YouTube. I hope this one is helpful, adds a bit of value. The hack's pretty helpful. Thank you, Row 2K, shout out, and I'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.